Minister, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, Davos, it seems to me, looking at the past 72 hours, that this is a world at a moment of rupture. So what comes next?
It is a moment of rupture, but here it's more important than ever to have a strong voice saying that we cannot have a governance of multipolarity without multilateralism, and we cannot channel competition without cooperation.
And you say it's a multipolar world, but it seems to me this is Trump's world, isn't it?
Not at all. We are all in the world, and we are a large majority, by far, that we believe in international law, in the principles of the United Nations Charter, and in peace.
You say peace, and you say we still believe that. The majority of the world still believes in that. But we've also seen a new institution, the Board for Peace, led by the U.S. President, President Trump. Is Spain going to join this effort for global peace?
It will be the president that will make the final decision and the announcement. We are discussing among EU members what position to take, and if possible, to take a common position, as common as possible. Certainly, for Spain, what's important is that this entity will respect the work of UN, that will respect the UN security resolution from which it comes from, and that it will respect international law.
So it seems to me the European Union is hesitant. The French government has said they will not join. The Italian government has said they cannot join as it stands. What's the concern?
I think that the same that us, that this goes beyond Gaza, that there can be a clash with some principles of international law.
Because it started as Gaza. Now it seems it's a private UN.
It should be Gaza because the Security Council resolution creates the Board of Peace for Gaza. That's the only task for which it's mandated, and that's how it should be. So we are all Europeans, we are looking at that, and the legal and the political implication of this Board of Peace.
And you prefer a joint position, an EU joint position? That would be the ideal.
I would prefer. There are some other countries that have already announced their choice, but we are still discussing among ourselves.
So some would say this Davos shows that it really is the force and the survival of the fittest and really the racketeering of the world. Everything now is a competition for global resources and power. Is that the impression that you get?
Not at all. Not at all. There are some countries that might like a world like this. But once again, we are more the ones that we stand for our principles, and we are going to continue doing it.
But when you see this whole context of a global race for resources, for rare earth, when you see President Trump saying we are the strength of the world, does that not tell you the world is changing now in a way that perhaps is not compatible with those values?
Certainly, there are countries that think that war or the threat of the use of force, it's another tool of foreign policy. But once again, as Europeans, our responsibility is even greater than before. We have to stand strong on our values, and our values are those of democracy, of international law, and defending peace.
But values is not a strategy. So what is a strategy for Spain and for Europe? If you say we are the alternative and we can present a better alternative, what is it?
Values are the core of what we are as Europeans. If we lose our values, we renounce to be ourselves. Now it's more important than ever that our security, our well-being remains in our hand. We have to remove the last obstacles of the single market to be even stronger economically. We have to tell everyone that we have the instruments to deter any coercion, whether it comes from trade or from the economy. And we need enterprises that can be in competition everywhere in the world, including in the digital world. And finally, we need the security, the European security, the deterrence in our hand. So we have to start to move towards a European army.
Towards a European army?
Absolutely.
And what would that look like? Because it's been pitched in the past and rejected every time. Why is this time going to be different?
It was at the very beginning of our founding fathers. It was rejected. In the 50s, we were very, very close to do it.
Europeans are willing to die for Europe?
Certainly, if we want to continue being a soil of peace in which no one can bring war or no one can use coercion on us, either the threat of the use of force or trade coercion, we need to have the deterrence in our hand. And we need also a first coalition of the willing on European security. Secondly, an integration of our industries of defense. And at the end, a European army.
The United States has really bullied, now that you obviously talk about solidarity, it has really bullied the Danish government over Greenland to the extent that they said, if you don't sell it, we're going to put tariffs. It seems he's now walking away from the tariffs, but how is that acceptable? The scenes that we've seen over the past 2 weeks, is that an acceptable way of doing things?
Certainly not. Certainly.
And still, there's a deal by NATO. He won.
The pressure on Denmark and on Greenland must stop. Spain has been very clear since the very beginning. The future of Greenland belongs to the people of Greenland and to the Danish people. And the people of Greenland have said it very clearly. They want to remain as a part of Denmark. They want to remain as a part of an EU member state.
And have you heard any information, Minister, about what this deal entails over NATO? You are an ally of NATO. Denmark is too. I suppose you would want to know what is it that NATO has worked out with the U.S. president. Do you know anything about this?
Well, it's not NATO, it's the Secretary General of NATO.
But he is
talking
NATO.
to one of the allies. We are all NATO. Of course they are NATO, of course. And it's normal that the president of a country talks to the Secretary General of NATO. The president of Spain has talked in bilateral. We all do it. But on this announcement, the only thing I know is the announcement that was made yesterday. I talked to the ministers of foreign affairs of other allied countries. They have the same information than me, just the announcement. And I'm sure that wherever has been discussed will be brought to the Council of NATO.
And just finally, Spain is a big player in Latin America. You pushed very hard for the trade deal of Mercosur, which is now finally through the finish line. You said geopolitical was very, very important to get it done. But of course, the continent is also in a moment of transition because of the dramatic arrest and capture of Nicolás Maduro in Venezuela. How do you see this relationship going forward? And you've always talked about a democratic transition. That's not happening.
Certainly, Latin America is the closest region to the European Union, and we have all to win to be together. Mercosur, it's really, really good news. As for Venezuela, what we want for Venezuela is a wide dialogue among the government and the opposition that will bring a peaceful and democratic solution from within the Venezuelan people, not from the outside.
Are you concerned that President Trump seems to really care about the oil first?
The oil and the natural resources of Venezuela belong to the Venezuelan people, and it's a part of their sovereignty. That must be part of this broad dialogue among Venezuelans as well.
And just lastly, Spain was very outspoken when it comes to Gaza, and you were very outspoken about the idea of the two-states solution. Is there any hope that we are going to see that manifest in the next year? Because it seems to me this conversation has now really stalled.
If we want peace, stability and security for everyone in the Middle East, including for Israel and the Israeli people, we have to put in place the two-state solution. And that means also a viable and realistic Palestinian state living next to Israel.
And in 2026, it seems to me it's lost momentum.
I hope so. It's high time. Too much innocent blood has been there for decades. It's high time that we put in place the two-state solution.
Well, Minister, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.